Okay, install video 2015 to 23 Road Glide. Step one, we're gonna take that little plastic plate off the bike. Okay, step two, we're gonna pop off the ignition tumbler. You need your factory key. Leave that at 12 o'clock. There's a little indent under here. You gotta push up with your finger and pop that thing straight up and off. All right, step two, we're gonna take these two T25 screws off of here, and we're gonna take this whole tack and speedo plate off. And you'll probably need a pick. This is the easiest way to do it right here. You'll probably need a pick once that plate comes off. Okay, so you just lift, pull back, and now you're gonna see clip going into the tack and speedo. Pop that off. Now you got your two 6-pin Molexes on each side with the yellow tape. Those you're just gonna pull off out of those blank. Okay, we're gonna put that aside for a second. We're gonna come back here. We're gonna actually take the ignition tumbler off the bike. You've got 1 and 2 5/32 Allens. These are a little bit tight in here. You need, like he has here, a nice long Allen bit driver. And then on this right side too, we've got that, that's a Delphi GT150 plug going into that fixture. Once we get this up and off, we're gonna take that off of there. Probably need the pick again to just pop that thing off of there because they are tight. Okay. All right, so next step, we are going to get our harness on here from the package. Now, you can use either one of these 6-pin Molex expansion ports. It doesn't matter if you go left or right. They both have the wires in the same place. So we're gonna start with the ignition. Now, keep in mind, this is not going to click. There is no such thing as a female with side clipping. So we gotta put that in. We're gonna tape it real good just to keep it nice and tight. Yeah, unfortunately, they do not make a true female when you're coming out of a fixture. And now the other end of the plug and play harness is the 6-pin Molex right there. Click, click. And the 6-pin Molex really just lights up the buttons. That has nothing to do with turning the bike on. We're going to snug that up under there, kind of out of the way. Okay, and be careful with this harness in the middle there where you see this big kind of hunk of material there. That's where the, right here, be careful with this spot. This is where the resistors and diodes and all that shit is. You don't want to bend that. I mean, it's nice and stiff. I just tell people, you know, be careful. Okay, next step, we're gonna put the injection molded plate into the factory tack and speedo housing. And you clip that right down in there. Okay, now here's how I usually do these. Flip back over. So normally when I'm doing a bike, I do this ignition, I do this accessory. You can flip-flop them, okay? You can, you know, if one's a different color, you can flip-flop them. When we clip in here, this is what tells us what it's gonna do. This is marked accessory, this is marked ignition. So where you put it is what it's gonna do on the bike side. Okay, so next step is we flip that over and click these in. Okay, now this is very important right here. You have to look at these tines and you have to match up inside. You can see on one side I've got a bunch of females over here and only one single over there. That one single over there has to match up to that one single there. Very important. If those are backwards, bike won't turn on and you'll be emailing or texting me. And you're gonna get a real nice positive click in there, just like that. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and test before we button this back up. That turns the bike on. There we go. And that's good. Okay, so at this point, I'll plug the tack and speedo back in and we are basically home free with this install. You're gonna get that all tucked real nice. And just take your time. The other thing here is there's 2 little plastic tines on each side of that plastic right here. You got to make sure those are engaged back in there before you move on. And then you're going to put your 2 T25 screws back in the side. Okay. And this, so all of this stuff here, we are not using anymore. We're not using the ignition tumbler. We're not using the actual tumbler knob. We're not using this little faceplate. Okay, all that stuff is left out. Okay, here you go. That easy. Okay, there we go. We're right in ignition. We got the buttons lit up, and you can press the other one, go right into accessory. And you can fly in between them. Main thing, when you're in ignition, you got headlight, you got fuel pump, you're in accessory, you don't have that. You basically got radio engage. Okay, that's it. Got any questions, go to dicecycles.com and you can hit me up or give me a call, 412-512-2339.